Alright, well, I need to figure out how to work on videoing me working on some stuff instead of just making a bunch of talking videos, but that's what we're getting this week. I'm going to do a quick-ish yard tour. So, anyways, obviously you can see behind me, got a line of trucks here. Got the club cab that magically makes more power wagons and Ram Chargers appear on the trailer every time I leave the house with it. I don't understand that. There isn't international, right? You know, whatever. If I can move my hand the right way. Jeez. Right there. Yeah, that international cab over. That's the oddball here. I'm going to turn the camera around. And of course, we've got other stuff. So that's off the trailer now. I just hooked a chain to it around the tree and drove out from under it. I'll have a video on that later. Got some video of me doing that, but we'll talk about that one later. We're just gonna kind of go over stuff real quick. We got the old second gen salvage title Cummins whatever truck. I don't necessarily beat it, but you know, it's the one I take from any throwing scrap metal in the back of it or whatever. And then of course there's some side-by-sides. Those are going to go away. We got my dad's Jeep over here at the moment. I was driving that a little bit more before returning it. But yeah, so we got the 75 Club Cab. It's got a Cummins in it. The trailer that makes more trucks appear out of thin air. You know, got my Macho, one of the Machos. There's another one at the shop. That's my high school truck. I got a Jeep that's a trade deal anyways, a limited Cherokee. I lifted it and put new tires on it, fixed a bunch of other things on it, but it's got a clunk in the front end. So I have another Jeep I'm gonna swap the axles out of, and then that thing's gonna go down the road. I'm gonna sell it. That's my little cargo box van, whatever you want to call it. Just a little single tire, no, not a dually, so it's narrow, but not huge, but big enough that you can move quite a bit of stuff in there, so that's handy. It needs the transmission refreshed. It does not have second or third gear. It shifts, but it just doesn't, you know, it doesn't grab and go. So I think I showed this for a second in another video. This is the old Starcraft Star Cruiser. So of course it's also being used for, you know, as a storage unit. Working on remodeling the inside of it. I think I did a quick little video on this, a short. I've done some shorts on some of this stuff, but this one's needs all the framework and stuff redone on the wall. All original, like, condition. Like the inside, super original. The ceiling is a little, oh, I didn't notice that before. I don't think that was falling down. Anyways, part of that whole I gotta redo part of it thing. Got this really cool old caveman camper. I'm gonna sell this. And then that truck runs and drives and stops. It had a giant pack rat nest on the engine when I got it. Excuse me, but might sell that one to somebody if they just want to, you know, 3/4 ton 2-wheel drive, small block. It's a 318 5-speed, but I'm gonna have a garage sale here in like a week, and I'm gonna get all my camping stuff out of the camper, and I'm just gonna move it over here off to the side because I'm gonna set up all my garage sale stuff here, so that way I can be in the shade in case it gets sunny or rains or whatever. But I'm just gonna throw some signage on there and, you know, see what happens. But yeah, anyways, this is, I guess we call this the Mopar farm tour. This is Mopar farm 1.0. It is, I don't know exactly when, but here in the future, obviously it's this is the nice building. It's where my well pump and everything's at. I was gonna fix the house, but if you look out here, there's a field out here, and there's a development company buying the field. So, and I know they want to get their hands on this place too. This from right here, this is like a road right here, driveway. The school bus is parked on and stuff. That's my neighbor's property. I was friends with him for many years and drove school bus with him for many years. And unfortunately, about a year and a half or so ago, cancer it caught up with him and got him. So that's unfortunate. But his daughter's working on going through some of this stuff, and I might be able to get my hands on a couple things. You can't really see it. There's a hiding right there. Little short bed power wagon. I think I'm going to be able to get that back. I actually sold that to him a while back, and then I'm hoping maybe I can get my hands on that truck too and some other parts. But she's got a Ram Charger over there that he was going to help her build. They're going to build together, and she'd still like to do it. So I think I'll probably end up helping, and we'll wheel and deal instead of paying me. I'll just we'll do trade stuff. But so there's this ugly International, which used to be the fish tank truck, and then the county, or the state, I guess the state of Oregon, they sold it off, and it went to the International shop, and it got a complete engine teardown like years ago, and then it got like abandoned, and my neighbor got it somehow, and then it was sitting over there, and they needed it to go away. And I drug it over here because it's probably with the intention of scrapping it. But then I found the headlight stuff. The other one's in the cab. I gotta fix some wire, or gotta finish that. Found the grill, the marker lights and stuff that my neighbor had taken off of it, and I kind of decided it's so rust free and straight, because it was a state vehicle that was just used for hauling fish around, that I might actually try to rebuild that engine, because on those you can just get an engine kit and new cylinder sleeves and pistons and whatnot. It's not terribly expensive, but I got the truck for nothing. I just have to get the paperwork straightened out before I put money in it. So I want to shorten the frame up a little bit, move that rear end forward a couple feet, and then put a fifth wheel plate on it, so I can buy like that used to be a semi-truck trailer, but like the little 24-foot trailer, I'd like to buy a couple of those to put fenders and hoods and doors and engines and whatever Dodge truck parts in, and then I can move them around. I don't know if I'll ever get to that. Obviously it would be nice to have this for when I move, because moving everything with that is possible. It just takes longer, and it'd be nice to have the ability to like load some little semi-truck trailers, because I want to move quite a ways more out of town, another 10-15 minutes, which I know doesn't sound like a long ways away, but there's a lot of stuff here. You'll see here in a minute. We'll walk out back, but my little neon, I need to fix that and get that back on the road. And of course there's just a lot of people be like, oh my god, your yard's just junk pile, and it is kind of organized chaos here, but mostly just Dodge stuff everywhere. Got a set of slotted chrome, like Little Red Express wheels, and this radiator that I knocked over earlier. Pick that back up. Got a really nice desk off the side of the road. That's my other problem. I pick stuff up off the side of the road. People give me things that are broken, like that generator, and then my mom gave me this nice like miter saw stand, and then of course I've covered area, so of course I'm gonna pile stuff in here to try to save it from the weather. But Honda Element that I got for free, that's runs and drives, but it's got a bad head gasket and suspension, and it's most likely gonna get scrapped. But my mailman uses one of these for mail, so he actually asked me about it the other day, so maybe he'll buy it for me for a couple $100 or something, and we'll move it on down the road. And of course we got a pickup bed trailer that is not together, but it's a short box. It's pretty solid, so I don't think it's got any, obviously I haven't sanded it down, so I don't know if there's body filler in the wheel lips, but it doesn't appear to be a rotten one. So, and that I've had this for a while, and it's actually pretty cool that I snagged that up, because right over here is a short bed power wagon. right here. It's one of the magically appeared on my trailer trucks. The bed on it is pretty trashed. I mean, it could probably be salvaged, but it needs like bed sides on both sides, and then there's holes, like rust holes and stuff cut in the floor of it, and it's just trashed. And that other bed's really nice. So if I get paperwork straightened out on that truck, I'll probably, if I put it together and get it back on the road, I'll use that bed. And this is the girlfriend's truck. So, and of course I'm gonna do videos on like all these like later, but got my Macho roll bars and some van doors and some garage doors, and of course there's the Jeep again, my rotten house, and then of course my house, wonderful 40-foot fifth wheel, not the tent trailer. Gonna fix that thing up and sell it. It's one of them big Jayco pop-up trailers, tandem axle. That was a trade deal kind of thing. My buddy's got a bunch of a couple Explorers and some Rangers stored over here right now. He's in the middle of working on moving another Ranger. No, definitely not mine. But and then the Chevy, that's not mine either. That one's stored here. The owner moved to a different state and he's wanting to sell it and stuff, and it just hasn't happened. But it's, like I said, organized chaos, you know. This is scrap metal. This is actually going to go away in the next couple weeks. Got my little trailer. I need to pull this thing out and fix that. A little tongue got rear-ended, light bump on the back, and it, you know, folded the tongue on it. So I'm gonna go camping here in like a week, 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. So I want to use this trailer, so I need to get this thing out of here and fix it. But that is the cab that actually spin everyone around here and make everyone motion sick. It came off of that truck. So my girlfriend and her dad, this is focusing on my finger, they put the 4-door cab on. It used to be an extended cab, and so they stretched the frame, and then she decided it was too big to paint yellow and didn't want to get called a school bus. So she wanted to do peach, and I guess her dad was kind of like, yeah, no, I'm not painting that peach. And so they went with this, supposed to be like this modern Ford gray color she picked out, but ended up getting this, like, by the time they got the paint to match anything, the paint shop anyways, they ended up with, it's like a Porsche color. So I don't know, anyways, we'll talk about that more someday. The trail duster that appeared on my trailer the other day, of course, there's the D600, the derpy Dodge, I like to call it. I'm actually putting it to work. I cut up a bunch of trees, and I still have a big pile here. You can see I got a bunch cut, and I need to cut more up, and just firewood. But I've been putting it in the tractor bucket and dumping it all in here. So a bunch of fir, half rotten fir, and some black walnut, and whatever the heck this is, whatever that thing is. It's this bush tree. It's a bush that's turned into a tree. I don't know if it's supposed to be a tree or a bush. I don't know. It seems like it's supposed to be a bush, but scrap metal pile that I got from a buddy, and that bed's not attached, and I hauled it home full of scrap, not attached to the frame because it was full of scrap, and it wasn't that far away, but it's a 60s Dodge bed on a 70s Dodge frame. So it's kind of funny because I have a 70s long box down here behind the Chevy that's got a bunch of fenders and stuff in it that I got from an estate auction, and the box is pretty beat, and I was just going to scrap it, but I think I'm just going to get it up on that trailer frame and bolt it down. And I got this truck here, and that one, the mint colored one, and the yellow one. Those came from the same estate auction, along with the blue cab sitting right there. Whoop. Boom, right there. This I already have a video of picking this one up. This is the storage unit RAM charger. Very rusty. I had video of this, but I deleted it, along with the video of that truck that my camper's sitting in, of the cleaning up the pack rat nest. But it didn't have a rear end under it or springs or anything, so I found a rear end here and springs help get it off the trailer. It doesn't have an engine tranny, nothing. It's just a shell, but it's got very little rust. And I actually have the original, well, I think they're original because they're white, and this truck was originally gold. But I have the fenders that aren't cut. These ones were cut on the bottom edges. But the gold fenders are in the back of it with the grill, and I've put some other parts in there. But it's got some bucket seats out of I don't know what, but they're sitting on a, I can't really see it. There's stuff on there. The seat frame for the buddy buckets for like the Machos and the Little Red Express trucks, the Warlocks, you know, the special sport seats. So another second gen blown trans, got a really bad oil leak. I'm going to be working on this summer. I've already sold this to a coworker, and then they're going to pay me to do the transmission swap and stuff and get this back on the road. It's a truck they've really wanted to have one like this for a long time. Fortunately, when it broke down, the guy I bought it from, he left it on the side of the freeway for a couple days, and somebody took a demolition bar for tearing down walls in a house, and they decided to try to pry the door open to break into it, and then they pried on the window and blew the window out. Obviously, I got a junkyard window on here now to steal the stereo, and of course in the process of that, it should be open. See if there are any wasps in here. In the process of all that, they kind of tore up the dash a little bit, but that blue second gen I have up front is going to be stripped down to put a 4-door cab on, which is, can't see it, but it's hiding all the way back here next to this motorhome. I'll just walk back there. There's my nice trail duster that a tree fell on from this lot here that's owned by the city of Albany. They these couple trees they sprayed in here several years ago, and to kill the briars down, and it killed a couple cedar trees. And we got the one, this was the last one that fell, this big one, and then right next to it is what's left of the trunk. You can see it broke off right there. That one's the one that fell, and it fell right down. Of course, it's all been cleaned up now. That's what some of the wood is. You can see the mark in the ground right here. It fell, and it went right across the hood of this truck, and right on about 3 foot of the top of the tree. You can see the roof's got a nice V in it on my trail duster. Obviously blew the window out. There was a mirror on there, like ripped the door all up where the mirror was bolted. This is on my glass. You know, just totally it's frustrating. Dented it, mutilated the mirror, and it got this fender, which is a bummer. I mean, the paint's not perfect. The paint is all messed up on the hood there, but I was gonna paint the hood black and then just kind of clean it up and get it on the road and pull the top off of it and just enjoy it until I had a bigger shop to actually restore it in. But because it's a Eastern Oregon desert truck, so it's got rust in the wheel wells and stuff. They all do. I don't really care where you get them from unless they have lived in the desert their entire life, and then they just have surface rust. But it's just solid enough. It would have been nice to get it on the road because it's a trail duster sport, and I got the big Plymouth badge that goes on the grill and everything for it. But yeah, took out my D300 old state dump truck that's really rusty because it had a snowplow on it, but I can't get the hood open on it. This was a running driving truck. It does have a bad rear end in it, and I blew the PTO shaft out of it the last time I had it running. That runs the dump bed. But it's got issues. I think I'm gonna part the cab out, take all the good stuff off of it, because the cab's rotten. There's giant holes in the floor. The bottoms of the doors are rusted out. The fenders are rusted out. But I think I'm just gonna part out the cab, and then I'm gonna pull the axle shafts out and either cut them off or just make steel plates and cap it, and then V the frame and turn it into a dump trailer and probably sell it, because Now that I have this ugly thing, the Derpy Dodge, big old D600, it's got a really nice dump bed on it. It's really big, but it's not like a dump truck bed. But for what I'm gonna do, I mean, getting rock and stuff, I have a guy for that now and stuff. So when I get different piece of property, I'll just pay to have the rock delivered. But getting like sawdust for the animals or bark dust or whatever, I think I'm gonna cut the end of the bed off and make it where it's like this one, where the hinge is right at the back, instead of having a tail like that D600 has a tail on the dump bed. So when it goes up, it gets like, that dump bed goes like way up high, and it the tail of the bed almost touches the ground. But I was thinking, oh, I can cut that off, and then I can cut, you know, if I do that with this truck, I cut it up, I can cut that big huge heavy duty hitch assembly out of there that the state put on it, and put that on the back of that D600, and I can pull my trailer around with the tractor and whatnot. But so another second gen Cummins, second gen, whatever, 95 12 valve 5-speed. Bought that for the engine, runs and drives actually. And then I've accidentally run into it a few times with the tractor. The hood was like that when I got it. It's flown open before, and it's trashed, but it runs good, and it's got 5-speed. So this is a real Warlock. So and actually I've had it for like 8 or 9 years, and I've been with my girlfriend for like a year and a half or so. And when she first came over, she thought it was her grandpa's truck, and after doing some talking with her uncle and stuff, we found out what the license plate number was, which it's still got the old license plate on there. And I broke the cover off of it, and it was like breaking off like one number at a time. And it's her grandpa's old truck that they for sure thought was long gone, because they sold it like 12 years ago out of the family. But ambulance, that thing's like super solid. Doesn't have the box on it anymore, but it's a big block auto. That's what my 4-door cab's sitting on right now. We'll go around the back of this. Another Star Cruiser. This one's pretty rough, but it's a little older than the other one. But it's parts storage. This is going to scrap. Oh yeah, there's a PT Cruiser that we walked by. That one's going to scrap too. Let me get this place, try to clean up a little bit this summer. Got like an A100 van that's been cut up partially. I need to finish cutting that up, and an old boat, I need to finish cutting that up. Chrysler boat, it's a Mopar. I got my big wedge trailer, big old case tractor. I actually got it to run off of some ATF and stuff a while back, but I need to get the fuel tank finished up. It's at my shop, and as you can see, the filters are bright orange because I've already cleaned those and repainted them. And I got my good Ram Charger Trail Duster roof sitting over here on this little trailer, which I think I'm going to be selling that trailer as well. And then we've got the Super Shorty Club Cab, which is just, it's pretty much yard art. It's pretty rusty and beat up. Somebody's old show vehicle. I don't know if I'll ever do anything with it because I don't have paperwork for it. And that's the thing with the rigs that don't have paperwork. It's like I might get paperwork for them somehow. Maybe it'll track down somebody that can sign off on stuff. But if I can't, then they kind of end up just sitting here and get parts taken off of them. And I'd like to redo this thing someday, but this thing it's super rotten. The bed's got a lot of rot in it. It's really beat up because it was, somebody made it really nice, and then they you know, as it aged, and it just got more beat up. And it's got like a gooseneck ball in it, like they're towing a gooseneck trailer or something, I don't know. 3/4 ton axles out of like a Chevy. It's got some really sketchy like home built shackle flip stuff going on, and it's kind of amazing that it didn't like break and then like cause them to go off the road. I didn't even realize. I just noticed how the bed and the cab are like super out of alignment. I don't know if that's because the tires went flat over here and it's just twisting the whole thing. Because this thing, it's got the tag, and there's markings on it. This is actually a freaking, it's a Macho Power Wagon that somebody cut up, and they put this club cab on it and turned it into this thing. So And they even took the time to like move the gas filler neck hole up on the outside. They didn't do anything to hide it on the inside, but it's just oddball, and it'd be kind of cool to fix it back up and get it back on the road, but it needs a lot. I do have a 70 Challenger. That was a car. Never thought I'd get my hands on one of those, but it popped up. Obviously, it's missing a lot, which made it to where I could afford it. So now I got to find a lot of Challenger stuff, which I've already got taillights. It came with the trunk lid, came with like the whole rear trunk floor frame rails section and stuff that's not rotten. And then the front end, you know, I need doors, fenders. It has the dash. It has all the tags and paperwork and title already got it in my name and everything. So it's actually, most people probably wouldn't build it because it's really beat and rusty in certain ways that requires a lot of time and labor that, you know, ends up costing a lot of money. But doing it myself, yes, I'm gonna have a ton of time in it and materials, and I'm still gonna have a lot of money in it getting all the parts, but it makes it where I can actually make myself a really nice Challenger the way I want it to be and actually afford it, because I can do it over time. Wedge trailer that I was building, I'm gonna end up cutting the wedge off. I'm gonna extend it, move the axles back, and make it like a 40-foot just gooseneck trailer or whatever, which is probably what I should have done to begin with. But this had a specific purpose, and that's life changed. So there's just, and then of course there's over here, there's more random junk, collection of junk. There's part of a motorhome that I had tore apart a couple years ago. It's got the same axles as my motorhome up front, the big Star Cruiser. So I got a parts LeBaron for my nice LeBaron, which you'd think, if I got a nice car, why do you need a parts car? Well, this has a 5-speed in it with the V6, which is super hard to find. So I snagged this guy up, and then I'm hopefully going to get this thing out of here this summer and pull the transmission out of it, at least get the tranny pulled out of it and all the pieces I need. And some guy wanted to like cut the body out where the top goes and like get the whole top mechanism and stuff, but I've been procrastinating this for quite a while now, almost like 2 years. So hopefully he still wants it. If not, I guess I lost out on that sale of parts. But got a wrecked junker parts truck. This is pretty cool, little old school San 4-wheel drive club truck from way back in the day, and this thing's been floating around for quite a long time, and I got it a couple years ago, and unfortunately I never got paperwork for this one. I was supposed to get a bill of sale potentially from the guy that these came from, but I got these through my one of the guys I know from when I was a kid growing up, which I'm still kind of a kid. I'm only in my mid-30s, but I got this truck, this one, and this one, which they all three came from the same guy, but he sold them to the guy that I know that does scrap metal, and then I ended up buying them. So this one actually was a camper, probably like a camper 7500, because it's a 4-wheel drive 8 lug. Should have been like a 3/4 ton, but good, lots of good parts. Obviously it's not ideal that we already robbed the the fuel tank out of it. It went in the big gray crew cab up there, but it's not great for this stuff to be sitting out here like this. But you know, whatever. It was a big block truck. Tranny's probably good. I hate that this stuff's all sitting out here like this. But there's the ambulance and my 4-door cab, and I'm trying to keep the weather out of it because it does have some deterioration up here on the roof, and this cab had cab lights originally, so just trying to keep the water out of it. It's probably not working, but this tarp's getting old. As you can see, it's starting to get the white coming through on it where it's tattered. So, but yeah, anyways, this is the back of my property line. They want to build like some 6-story, I don't know, businesses on the bottom, 6 stories of apartments on top. They want to like take out the VFW, put a roundabout in, bring the road across and through the lot that they have over here, and do another roundabout up here at this intersection up here, and, you know, bulldoze all this, knock all the trees down, and build condos and whatever, which I don't really care because I'd like to be further out of town. So I said this is Mopar Farm 1.0. The next one, Mopar Farm 2.0, will definitely be, I'm going to try to get like 10 acres. Just still not, farm wise, it's not a lot, but here's the junk PT Cruiser. I've obviously sold some parts off of that guy, but I bought it cheap, tried to fix it, ended up being a computer problem, turned into a whole mess of trying to get the computer to work for it, and the car had a lot of miles on it and wasn't very pretty anyways, as you can see by the paint. It was all coming off of it, and so I scrapped that idea before I got too much wrapped in it, and I've more than gotten my money back out of it from parting it out. So it doesn't owe me anything, and it still has an engine and transmission in it, so it's got some weight to it. So I'm sure it's worth maybe $200 scrap. I don't know. I'm gonna fill it full of stuff too. So, but yeah. So there it is. The Mopar Farm. That's what I call Mopar Farm. Anyways, we do have chickens. I can show you guys the chickens, I guess, real quick since I'm over here. But I just call it the Mopar Farm because I just joke that it grows Mopars. Well, primarily Dodge trucks. I guess I could have just called it the Dodge Truck Farm, but here, I'll turn the camera back around. Here's just the chickens. There's like 20 of them in there. So anyways, I guess that makes it more of a farm, right? Because there's chickens. We want to get goats and stuff too, but so yeah, this will be the video for this week. Hopefully I can well, school just got out, so I'm not driving school bus for a couple months, like 2-ish months before I have to go back to work. So hopefully I can make some decent videos of getting some stuff done, and get some progress on some of these rigs, get some of these things up for sale, and get some scrap hauled off, and just have a good old time out here playing with rusty Mopar junk. And yeah, there it is, Mopar Farm 1.0. Might be here for a couple more years. I might get approached in the next couple months because they just presented all that stuff I was talking about with the apartments this week. They're gonna have another hearing in a couple weeks, I guess. And my neighbor's realtor on the other side of my neighbor who has all the Dodge trucks and stuff, his realtor reached out to me, and I haven't gotten back a hold of her yet, but they were I think she was going to try to help me, maybe try to get in touch or get a game plan figured out, but I'm not too concerned about it. It's going to be one of those deals where they say, hey, we're going to do this and we want to buy your property, and they're going to name a price, and I'm more concerned about, hopefully I can get a decent amount of money out of it so I can have a down payment for something bigger. But I'm going to, hopefully try to negotiate where I've got some time to move. So, if I can get them to be, obviously they're not going to break ground and build stuff right away. So if I can get them to sign a contract with me to give me a year, until next, if somebody talked to me in the next, month or two, if I could get them to sign a contract where I have until like the following September of like 2026 to move or something, or if it's a year further down the road or whatever, if I can get where I have the time to get everything packed up and moved when I'm on summer break, that would be ideal, because as you can see, there's a lot here. So, and then of course I've got my shop at my grandparents' house around the corner, and I'm going to want to move all that too. So anyways, here's the Jeep and some side-by-sides. Just, yeah, be kind of sad to move from here, but it'll be a good change, and hopefully will come with a large shop or some sort of large building that I can turn into a shop space, ideally, so I can actually make progress on these trucks and different well, I basically have nothing but trucks to build. So I got the Challenger, but that's going to take some time to find parts. So I guess that'll do it for now. Hopefully I'll have a more exciting video for you guys next week.